Welcome guys, welcome everybody, and this is gonna be a new tutorial with some JavaScript stuff. So basically part 2, because we showed some things last time, and we're actually going to continue from last time, but you don't need these things for now. You can just jump to my previous tutorial and you will find this JavaScript basics. Yes, so we basically talk about getting the element ID here and then displaying this text through JavaScript. Strings, numbers, floats, booleans that hold true or false values. We talked about objects, we spoke about arrays. Accessing the objects, which is object dot the property gives us the value. Let me, we don't need to comment this out. Yeah, and then we spoke about the date, and then functions, how we can get the date with a function. Awesome. Now today we will speak about loops. Loops are very important in programming. If you haven't done them before, they are a little bit hard to grasp in the beginning, but they're really fun and they save us a lot of time. So hang on and you will get it. I will try to explain this as easy as possible. Okay, so let's start with an array here. Let's say we say array is like a storage of items. So let's say array. Let's not call it array. Let's call it names. Let's have 4 names inside. It's gonna be George, Maria, Bill, Eddie. Okay. So this array contains, okay, so this is a variable. We declared this variable, which holds an array inside. This array contains 4 items. These 4 items start from, remember, 0 based means that it starts counting from 0. So 0 is George, 1 is Maria, 2 is Bill, 3 is Eddie. I'm trying to break it down as much as I can so you can understand. Awesome. So now we have the array, we have the length, we want the length now, yeah. So what is a length? If I do document write line, names length 4. What is it? 4. Now the length is the items that this array contains. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, we count from 0, but there are still 4 items inside. It's different to count something and how many items there actually are. 4 items inside. Now, the difference is that the length is going to give us how many items there are. But if we were to write, let's say names, and then we want to access the first element. If we write 1, it's going to go here because it starts from 0. So it's going to print out Maria. Okay, so when you count something, you start from 0. When you get the length, you get the items, the amount of items. Now, why do we need this length? Let's see. So if I want to print this out, I'm gonna have to do names 0, gonna give me George, copy paste, 0, 1, and then we have 2 and blah blah blah. Okay, now this gets very messy. If you have like 100 items, then you're not gonna do this thing, right? Just print them out and then indexes. This is called an index. you don't want to do this. So that's why loops exist. And I think before the loops existed, I think they did something like that probably. But you can imagine. You will see the difference in why the loops save us so much time. So now we're going to say for. We're going to do a loop called for loop here. In JavaScript, you have for loops. You have for in, you have for off, you have whiles. You have some loops, different loops. But this is the most common used. Yeah. So we say for, we're going to say that we want this x to be 0. And you're like, why is this x gonna be 0? Because we want to start from 0. Don't worry, I will explain you. Don't worry about that yet. So let x 0 means start from 0. What the hell is he talking about? I know. Hang on. Okay, so x is smaller than name's length. Now, see this. X is smaller than name's length. What we said, name's length, we said that document right line name's length. Sorry, wait, I need to comment this out. Name's length was 4, right? It's the items. So we say if the x is going to be 0. If the x is smaller than 4, then take the x and do this. Oh, what is that? Plus plus, what does that mean? Plus plus means, let me add this first, name's length. Okay, when x is smaller than name's length is when x is smaller than the length of the array, the items, the total items. Okay, you don't need to write this comment. When the x is smaller than the length of the array, the total items of the array, then, remember, then x plus plus, then increment x by 1. Yeah, what does he mean? What do you mean? I'm very confused now. That's what you're probably thinking if you have done Downline Loops before. Now let's see why we need this. Console, let's do document right line. If we say x, if we print out what value is x gonna hold now in this loop? Is it gonna be 0? No, because x starts from 0, then x is gonna be smaller than 4, and then it's gonna increment. If it's smaller than 4, it's gonna increment. So x is gonna become x plus 1. So it's gonna become 1. And it's gonna go through this loop until the condition is met. Now let me save here. 0, 1, 2, 3. The x is gonna start from 0. It's gonna, and because it's smaller than 4, it's gonna become 1 because it's gonna be incremented here. So this thing is gonna run actually 4 times because of this, because we have 4 elements here, and it's gonna, as long as this is 0, 1, 2, 3, it's gonna increment. If this goes 4, it's gonna stop, because then it's not smaller than 4. It's 4. Then it's gonna be like, it's 4. So, wait, I will show you what I mean. 0, 1, 2, 3, okay? This is what happens. The difference why we do this now is because we said we don't wanna print out, for example, names 0, 1, 2, 3, 400, for example, okay? We don't want to do this 100 times to print out names. George, Maria, yeah. Am I going to use these names brackets all the time? No. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to say document right line, and then I'm going to say names, which is gonna take this name, and instead of writing 0, 1, 2, manually, this thing is gonna increment anyway, because x is gonna become 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. It's gonna increment anyway. So it's gonna check how many items we have here, and it's gonna loop so many times. Because x is gonna always be smaller than this number, the 4 here. So, and it's a 0 based, so it's gonna start from 0. So if I do this one, brackets and x is gonna become, you see here, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. Here we print out the x only. So now it's gonna say, let me remove this one. George, Maria, Bill, Eddie. Amazing, right? I usually use console log, and you should also use console log. I don't know this. I'm just doing this for so you can be able to see this more zoomed. So now we get the point why this for loops exists, and we can also start from 1. We can say x is 1. What's going to happen if this is 1? It's going to say x then is 1, right? Because x is 1, then 1. If 1 is smaller than 4, because we have 4, the length is 4 here, 4 items, then increment x. So x is going to become 2. So if we do this, then we're going to have Maria, Bill, Eddie. We're not going to have George, because George is 0. Starts from 0. Do you understand? I know it's a bit hard to understand in the beginning, but once you understand how it works, then, I mean, look at this. We write 1 line of code here. Okay, 3 lines of code with these brackets and the logic here, the loop. But if we had 100 items, it would be the same code, because we just need this thing here, and then we're gonna. I mean, look at this. If I do this 100 times, for example, look, it's gonna print out with the same code. We don't need to change this all the time, So that's the thing with the loops. They do it for you, and they loop through the items, and yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much how a loop works. So you have the statements. These are called statements. Statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. Statement 1, 2, 3. Remember, 1, 2, 3. I don't want to go into this so deep, because once you need to grasp the basics of the loops. Otherwise, it's gonna get very hard for you to understand. And you need to try to experiment, add many items, try different stuff, and you will see how it works. Awesome. I think that's it for today's lesson, the for loop, and see you in the next tutorial. Take care, guys. Have a nice day. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and you are the best. Take care.